Assalamu alaikum my dear students. Welcome to NIVS Home School. I hope you all are fine by the grace of Almighty. Here I am Kamrun, assistant teacher of National Ideal English Version School, Day Shift. My dear students of class 8, today I am going to take your Bangladesh and Global Studies class. So all of you take your Bangladesh and Global Studies book. Today we will discuss lesson 1, 2 and 3 from chapter 1, and the name of this chapter is Colonial Age and the Liberation War of Bangladesh. So let's start our class. Chapter 1, and the name of this chapter is Colonial Age and the Liberation War of Bengal. And lesson 1, and the lesson 1 is about the arrival of the Europeans in Bengal and the background of colonial rule. So at first we will know what is colonial rule. So when a foreign power establishes its rule over an occupying country temporarily, it is known as the colonial rule. And in this government system, the occupying forces do not establish or continue their rule permanently. They exercise their power temporarily, and when they govern, they send a huge amount of money or riches or wealth to their own country, and they know it very well that one day they have to go back to their own country. So when the native people raise their voice against them, or the native people become rebellious, or if they think that exercising power is not convenient here, then they leave the country. And this system of imposing rule over any occupied country is known as setting up a colony. And the government system is known as the colonial rule. So when the British came to Bengal, at first they occupied the Bengal, and then they occupied the Indian subcontinent and started their rule, or started their exercise the power of the British government. So and they rule here almost 200 years. They ruled over here almost 200 years, and then they go back to their own country. So this is called colonial rule, and the age, the time or the duration of this rule is known as the colonial age. So let's read. The system of government which came into power in 1757 in Bengal after the Battle of Plassey is called colonial rule, and the rule of the English from 1757 to 1947 is known as colonial age. So the time period between 17 to 57 is known 57 to 1947 is known as the colonial age. But before the English, other external forces came to Bengal, and among them the Aryans came to Bengal before the Christian era, and they are attracted by the wealth and riches of the Bengal, but they did not exercise their power here. And then came the Maurya Emperor Ashoka the Great, and he occupied the northern part of Bengal in 300 BC. And at that time, the northern Bengal known as the Pundrabardhan Bhukti, and it becomes the province of the Maurya dynasty. And then the Gupta dynasty came and takes over the rule of India after Maurya dynasty, and they ruled here almost 400 centuries. 4 centuries, that means 400 years. And in 7th century, King Shashanko became the first independent king after the Gupta dynasty, and he did not rule for a long time, and there was a anarchy or disorder in the Bengal for almost 100 years, and this period is known as the age of Maksanaya in Sanskriti, and that means the age of anarchy. And in the middle of 8th century, the Bengali Pal kings reigned for almost 400 years. So now there is a constancy in ruling power, but after the pulse at the end of the 11th century, Sen dynasty occupied the throne of Bengal. But after the Sen dynasty, the Muslim rule began in this part of the world, and the Turkish military ruler Ikhtiaruddin Muhammad Bakhtiyar Khilji occupied a small section of Bengal in 1204 century, and he ruled here from 1204 to 1206, and during their government, when they exercised their power, they divided the Bengal in 3 iklims, and one iklim is, the first iklim is Lakhnauti, which was in northern Bengal, and then iklim Satgao, which was in western Bengal, and then iklim Sonargaon, which was in eastern Bengal. And then Fakhruddin Mubarak Shah in 1338 became rebellious, or he rebelled against the Muslim sultans and established the system of having an independent sultan. So the system of having an independent sultan in Bengal was established by Fakhruddin Mubarak Shah in 1338, and after that it was continued, independent sultan, the ruling system of independent sultan continued almost 200 years, and there was a peace in the Bengal. And after 200 years, in 1576, many parts of western Bengal and northern Bengal came under the reign of the Mughals again. That means they captured the Bengal again, but they can't capture the western, they can't capture the eastern Bengal, that means today's Bangladesh, very easily, because on the time there was 12 Jamidars of East Bengal, and they were united and known as the Baro Bhuyas, and Isha Khan was the leader of the Baro Bhuyas, and the fall of Baro Bhuyas took place in 1610, and on that moment it was the reign of the Emperor Jahangir, and Mughal Subedar Islam Khan defeated the Baro Bhuyas and captured Dhaka. And after that, in 1757, the rule of Mughal dynasty finally came to an end with the fall of Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla in the Battle of Palashi, and we will know about it. Now we will know about the expansion of European trade in Bengal, that means lesson 2. So all of you go to page number 2. And a powerful trade revolution started in Europe from 17th century because of the discovery of mineral resources, expansion of sea route, and development in technical and commercial fields. And in 1498, Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese sailor, reached Calicut port of South India, and he was the first European who came to India. And it was a great opportunity for the Europeans to come to India and trade with this subcontinent. But Al-Bukhari, an experienced sailor, captured the entire trade of India by taking control of the Indian Ocean. Then Westphalia's Accord was signed in 1648 among some European warring nations. So there were some countries who were who war against each other, and then they signed a peace treaty, and which is known as the Westphalia's Accord. And after that, the European traders came to the subcontinent, and silk and many other fine clothes and spices of Bengal were the chief attractions for the European traders. And export income of Bengal stood at about 2 lakh pound or 18 lakh taka only from England during 4 years from 1680 to 1683. So it's a huge amount of money. And then the foreign merchants established big industries and earned a huge profit, and among them the British is the pioneer, and then the Danish, Dutch and the French and the Portuguese merchants. And according to a French tourist Bernier, the Dutch sometimes employed 700 to 800 workers in their silk factory at Kashim Bazar. So, only at Kashim Bazar they employed 700 to 800 workers to work in their factory. So, you can imagine about the other parts of the Indian subcontinent. And like the French, the other companies also established factories, or they also earn a huge amount of money. And then William Hedges came at Hooghly in 1682 as the governor of the English companies. But on that period, the Mughal employees of Bengal become corrupted regarding the revenue collection, and Hedges sent a letter to the King of England, King James II, and he convinced him to send some soldiers to battle against the Mughals, and several battles took place among the Mughals and the British, and many of the Mughal employees of the Bengal now become corrupted regarding revenue collection, and several battles took place between the Mughals and the English from 1687 to 1690, and finally the English ensured their commercial benefit. So, now they got the permission for running their business as well as keeping their soldiers. And now we will go to lesson 3, the causes of victory of colonial powers in Bengal. And you all know that after Nawab Alibardi Khan, the grandson, that means the Siraj-ud-Dowla, ascended the throne of the Bengal, and he was only 22 years old on that time. So, he was very young, and after his coronation he had to face 3 major problems. One is the increasing power of the English, and another was the conspiracy of his maternal aunt Kasiti Begum and the commander in chief Mir Jafar Ali Khan. And there was another power greedy force, and they are the merchants, and the Marwaris who came to Rajput belonged to them. So, they plotted against the young Nawab Siraj-ud-Dowla, and finally at the Battle of Palashi, Siraj-ud-Dowla defeated, and the power handed over to the English, and the English started rule over here, and they continued their rule 190 years, and this period is known as the Colonial Age. And now we will know the reasons of the colonial rules and what was the impact of it on the common people. The people of Bengal had been the victim of oppression and exploitation during long reign of foreign rulers except for 200 years of Sultani rule. So, they had negative attitude and indifference to their rulers. The death of the Nawab and the end of the independence had no impact on them. So, except 200 years of Sultani rule, that means which was established by Fakhruddin Mubarak Shah, the people of Bengal was the victim of oppression and exploitation. So, they have a negative attitude towards the rulers of the Bengal. So, when the Nawab, that means Siraj-ud-Dowla, defeated in the battle, or when he was dead, it was it had no impact on the common people. And as a result of capital outflow of the poverty of the people was very acute, and a total inertia prevailed in the village communities. So, the people had no interest in utilizing the opportunities created by the expansion of trade. So, there was a the people are very poor in this part of the subcontinent, and that is why they are not aware of the opportunities created by the expansion of the trade on the time. The people had neither political nor social ability to comprehend the increasing economic and military power of the English. So, on that time there was no political leader, there is no such a political leader or social ability of the people to understand the increasing power of the English or the increasing power of the economy. The internal intrigue and conspiracy among rulers of Bengal were too deep rooted for the young and inexperienced Nawab to face. So the Nawab was too young and inexperienced to face the conspiracy of the three forces, and the English plotted, the English and his near and dear ones plotted against him, and he was too young to understand this plot or internal intrigue or the conspiracy. So my dear students, today I have summarized the three lessons, lesson 1, 2 and 3, and from these three lessons we have learned about the colonial age and the impact of the colonial rule over the people of this part of the subcontinent. And dear students, there is a homework, and before doing your homework you will go through lesson 1, 2 and 3 at least 3 times. Then you will write your answer, or you will do your homework. So dear students, now look, there is a knowledge based questions. There are 5 questions. You will give their answers after going through your text. Number 1 is, who occupied Bengal defeating the Saints? Number 2, what is the European peace treaty known as? Number 3, what was the duration of the colonial rule in the Indian subcontinent? Number 4, who established, there is a mistake, who established independent Sultan rule in Bengal? Number 5, when did Vasco da Gama reach India? So these are the 5 knowledge based questions you will do as your homework. So dear students, that's all for today. I hope you have understood our today's topic, and do your assigned homework in your HW copies, and your city, SB and dimers will be given on the basis of the submission of your homework. So do your homework regularly and submit it on every Sunday within 8 AM to 4 PM. So see you again. Allah Hafiz.